Oh, I don't need the glasses. Well, parents of the class of '92, you made it. You got them graduated. Remember when they were 10 years old, you told them to take out the garbage? They said, sure, Mom. When they turned 16, you said, take out the garbage. They said, the whole house is garbage. What do you want me to move? It changed. We had a faculty meeting about a couple of months ago, and in the faculty meeting, someone had gone to a conference and came back to report on gangs, you know, Jesse James' gang, Al Capone's gang, gangs. Do we have them in Watertown? Somebody asked, well, what's the characteristics of a gang? And the answer was, well, they wear the same kind of uniform or colors. They have secret meetings, secret handshakes. And I thought, my God, we've had gangs here for 25 years. When I got here, they're called Chevy Boys and Ford Boys. Anybody ever remember them? 25 years of subversion. Then we got the W Club. It's another gang. They meet on weekends secretly. God only knows what goes on there. They won't tell me. And then I found out the leader. Here it is, folks. We get this guy. Gangs are over. It's a man by the name of Mr. Matixie. That's the leader of the gang. Yeah. Second part, yeah, that's inside. Second part, same faculty meeting. Some teachers had lost their keys or they were stolen. Could they have stolen by some gangs? And I was sitting there listening to this and I thought, keys, it's rung a bell with me. I had a kid in class 20-some years ago who had a hobby. He was a locksmith. He had keys all over his desk. He made keys. I allowed him to play with the keys in class, and he was filing them all the time and things like that. But he never missed a beat in class. He was really in and all this, really bright fellow. I understand the man owns a couple of factories today, matter of fact. Anyhow, he came up to me one day and he said to me, Hennessy, you're not such a bad guy. Here's a master key for the building. Well, he didn't say you're such a nice guy. He said something like, you're not as big as jerk as I thought you were originally. I'll take any compliment. Anyhow, he said, I thought, my goodness, what should I do? A master key is something the kid shouldn't have, and he had been making them for his friends and things like that. Should I turn him into the office? But then a master key for a teacher, we get to get a key to our room, you know. You can't get in the building on Saturdays and Sundays. You got to chase an administrator around and be nice to him. And so I kept the key. And I thought, what can they steal? There's no, you know, chalk, what are they going to steal? There on the wall of the Dodge Street lobby was a replica of the Gosling. They called it the Duck. A replica of the Gosling. It was up there on that wall. That son of a gun was 6 feet long, 4 feet high, and about 5 inches thick. I walked to my classroom one Monday morning. It was leaning up against the wall in the back of my classroom. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to get fired again. So I notified all the important people, the custodians, and thank you. The custodians, thank you too. They took the Duck out of the classroom, my class, and put it in a room next to my room. And I remember as they were walking out the door, they say, well, they can't get in there, there's no windows. And I thought, they don't know about the keys. Next night, the Duck's gone out of that room and gone. So I understand it went from one haymow to one barn to wherever else was, and about a year later, and I attended a couple of senior teas too. And I had an inspiration a year later. I thought, you know, at homecoming, when they bring in the court at halftime at the football game and all those nice convertibles, I thought I need one more convertible for the Duck. Well, anyhow, I could just see it come wheeling in there about 87 miles an hour around the field and out again, you know. But I chickened out, and they chickened out, and it never came off. I understand one of our ex-teachers, Ron Larson, was driving up near Columbus and Mauston and saw a duck up against the barn, and it was all broken up by that time. The farmer had bought it at a rummage sale. The Duck in the gym now is the Duck Junior. That's not the same Duck, you know. Anyhow. I suppose I see, and I've been in the education racket for a few years, I should say something about education. There's been 2 changes I've seen since I've got involved in this stuff. One is the idea that we have, the school board about a month ago hired 6 new teachers. One was a science teacher, 5 were specials. Now I understand brings the total of special teachers up to 48, plus aides. That's out 48 out of 250 teachers. You're going to have to put this part and the next thing I say together. I believe within 10 years, liberals and conservatives, Democrats and Republicans and H. Ross Peroters will demand a voucher system for private schools in the United States. You will pay tax dollars to send your kid to private schools. You got to put those 2 things together. And I say 10 years, I think it's less than that. I think you've noticed that the president of Yale has just resigned to head up a group to put together 1,000 private schools in the United States. We'll have a voucher system in 10 years for that. The other thing I noticed, one day I was walking to my class, it was another Monday, locked up my door, and down the hall came 13,000 girls running. Well, maybe this wasn't 13,000. There's a few hundred, though. That was 71. And the Desire, there was a few hundred girls running. It was the first day of girls' track, the first organized girls' sport in this system. After that, we got it all. A few years later, the girls' basketball team won the state. We have girls volleyball, we got girls golf, we got girls swim teams, we got girls tiddlywink teams, whatever. Got it all. None of that would have started, I want to pay a little tribute here, none of that would have started if we didn't have a little Spitfire that came out of college and demanded it. We were going to have girls' sports. So any of you girls, ladies, women, whatever am I supposed to say, any of you people say, want to thank somebody because you benefited from it, you enjoyed girls' sports, the next time you see Ginger Anderle, you shake her hand. Yeah. There's been a couple of mentions of I give tough tests, or I'm supposedly a tough teacher, or something like that. I don't believe that, but there's talk like that. I went to Whitewater Student Learning Place, and you had to take a lot of courses in education, and what they taught you in the courses in education was all the reasons kids can't learn anything. And I went with that for about 5, 6, 7 years. And 2 things dawned on me. 2 experiences. I was in the Army once on our side, and everybody in the Army had to learn, at that time, had to learn 12 general orders. Every guy in basic training had to learn 12 general orders. And I'll give you one, because it's the only one I remember. The first one was I walk my post in a military manner, keeping always on the alert and observing everything that takes place within sight and hearing. Yes, one. There's 12 like that. And they would ask you these things during rifle inspection when you're scared to death, and you would spit those things out. Now, I figured everybody learned them. The dumbest hillbilly, oh, I shouldn't say terms like hillbilly. The dumbest Mountain William learned them. Takes a while. Work on it. Learn those things. We all learned those things. I came to the conclusion, if they can learn the 12 general orders, we had one guy in the outfit, they put a rock in his left hand so he knew which way was left. Swear to God. And it hurt my hand. Anyhow. Well, everybody learn, you know, you can't go like this all your life. So I figured, if all those guys can learn the 12 general orders, my kids can learn the 4 parts of the Monroe Doctrine. Second experience. Walking to school one morning behind 2 girls. Came in the guidance, by the guidance door, you know, east side. Walked behind these 2 girls. One girl obviously had a fight with her boyfriend the night before. And so we're walking, it was early, nobody else in the hall. And one girl was talking to another, and she was saying, no, she wasn't saying. She was saying, screwed you up, didn't I? She was saying, well, he said, and then I said, and then he said this, and I said that. We're going up the stairs, and it's he said, I said, he said, up the next flight of stairs. We're walking past Mullen's room now, and the same thing. He said, and I said, and he said, and we're going past the library now. It continues on. I cut off my room. She continues on. Go into my first hour of class, and I said, I relayed the story. And I asked the girls, I said, did she remember everything word for word? And the girls said, word for word. I figure if the 12 general orders and these girls can remember everything word for word, my students can learn the 4 parts of the Monroe Doctrine. Okay. I caught a kid cheating one time, and he's a delightful guy. Well, I caught a lot of kids cheating. Some were very good. Some were pros. Some use programmable calculators in physics class and things like that. Anyhow, is Hune getting nervous? I know two girls, Jim, that put half a test in one and half a test in the other and exchanged in the middle of the tests. But don't worry, Jim, they're both being called doctors in a few years, so you did a good job. Anyhow, this kid was a terrible cheater. He had his cheat sheets under the paper, standard procedure. And every time I looked over at him, he had the sheets under here, and every time I looked over, he'd go like this, you know. So anyhow, I got him after class, and I took him away after class, you know, so the kids didn't know it and didn't see it as much. I had him initial him and all that sort of thing. Then he came to me after school. He was a delightful kid. Came up to me and he said this. He said, Mr. Hennessy, I want you to know I only cheat on the ones I don't know. I said, thank you very much, you know. I really appreciate that. Okay, folks, here's the message. I am going to be 60 on my next birthday, and I'm at the end of things. I retired a couple days ago, and I'm glad to be here. 5 years from now, 5 years from this day, you people are going to be going in a direction. You're going to get a job. You might be working a paving crew and looking at being foreman. You might be driving a truck. You're going in a trucking thing. You might be looking at an 18-wheeler when you're 25. You might be in med school. You might be in grad school. But you're in your job. You're going to be going in a direction. That's it. You're at that point, you're married or a year or two away. A year after that, the kids. After that, the house. And it continues on and on with the kids. You're going to go on a big vacation. The kid needs braces. So you go to Exonia for a weekend. You're going to get a letter in the mail. It's going to say, you're invited to your 25th class reunion. You're going to blink and say, where the heck did 25 years go? You're 43 years old. You don't believe it, ask any people out here that are my age, younger, whatever else. It goes like lightning. So here's what I want you to do. Out there about your 4th or 5th year, have an adventure. Do something you want to do, you always wanted to do. I understand on the west coast of Panama are the most expensive sailing vessels, yachts, in the world. Rich, and there's a restaurant bar there. You can sit in there for 2 or 3 hours, or 2 or 3 hours for a pretty girl, 2 or 3 days for a guy, and somebody will come up and ask you, you want a crew on one of these yachts? We're going to South Pacific for 3 or 4 months. They'll give you room and board and a few bucks. Join the Peace Corps. Go to Alaska, get some buddies and try it. You ain't, you know, if it's a dream, go and do it before seriousness sets in. I had a niece that flew to Europe. She got off the plane and wherever it was, had her bike in cargo and biked across Europe for 7, 8 months, sometimes sleeping in wherever, ditches, fields, whatever. Go to Alaska, the outback. I understand it's like 1870, 1880 in America. You take a motorcycle and a few friends and go out there. We had a guy that spoke to the faculty. He walked across America in 11 months. Walked across America. He told us how he walked into a town. He didn't know where he was going to sleep that night. The only thing he wore was a fanny pack, whatever that is. Anyhow, that's the only thing he had. Walked across. It took him 11 months walk. He'd get into a town, knock on a door, and ask for a glass of water. And he said he'd drink the water very slowly so he'd explain what he's doing, and maybe they'd let him sleep in the barn or whatever else it is. Take the Trans-Siberian Railroad if you want to take the Trans-Siberian Railroad. Go to Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and enjoy the beauty of it for 6 months or a year. Go to Florida Beach or California Beach and be a beach bum for a year and think about things, read a million books, and watch your toenails grow. Forget it. Join a monastery if you want. Go to Las Vegas, live there, get a part-time job. Maybe you have better, wait, you better go to Las Vegas first and monastery second. The world will be here when you get back, and I just told you it's going to be alike. That's the end of the message. Good luck and goodbye to you, my young friends. Goodbye and good luck to you, my old friends. Goodbye and good luck to me, too.